My respected elderlies and my dear brothers and sisters, Muslims and non-Muslims, I welcome with you all with the Islamic greeting, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Almighty Allah be upon you. This is a reminder from your brother Ahmed about the discipline of Ramadan. Now, we usually ask ourselves these questions: why do we fast? What do we expect to gain from fasting? And how can we make the best of Ramadan? Now, Allah tells us in the Quran that everything that He has created for purpose. And everything that we do in this world, we do it because it has been there for years and years. Now, when it comes to Ramadan, it is of course a month of fasting. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to do one thing for Him. And that is to fast for the sake of Allah. Because He wants to know which one deserve heaven. And of course, those who fast for the sake of Allah, indeed there is a greater reward after that. And we should always bear in mind, dear brothers and sisters, is that the purpose of our fasting is not only to stay hungry and thirsty without drinking or eating food all day, but is to be conscious of Allah at all time. Because fasting teaches us to be disciplined in our lower passions. And this lower self-passion can sometimes drag us to a very shameful act, such as greed, sexual lust, jealousy, anger, hatred, and revenge. And when we fast, we should truly be aware that these shameful actions are indeed a very dangerous and minded act. And we should be careful of that, because Allah will punish us if we do not follow the discipline of Ramadan. And fasting helps us to be disciplined. And of course, it helps us to strengthen our Iman. And this Iman can sometimes become more aware of things around us. Now, throughout our lives, of course, we struggle with many things in our minds. And one of the biggest struggle that we struggle is the struggle of jihad. Now, that is the struggle within your own soul. And sometimes it is hard to pass that struggle. This is why we should have patience in our soul at all time. Because the companions of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, when they were returning from a battle, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to them, "O people, you have completed the easy jihad today, and now you must engage with the greater jihad, which is the struggle to control and purify yourself." I truly hope that everyone who is listening to this, inshallah, will use this Ramadan, your Ramadan, as an opportunity to fight this most important of all struggle, and that is a struggle within your own soul, and taking control of your good behavior to please Allah, your Creator. This struggle is to cultivate self-discipline, not only for this month of Ramadan, but it's a lifelong struggle. And shaitan will constantly offer temptation in your eyes, dear brothers and sisters. And this is why we should always lower our gaze. lower our eyes, especially when we are fasting. And we should able to control our tongue when speaking to others. That means we shouldn't speak bad language to them, and we shouldn't lie. And if someone, let's say your colleagues or your family, asks you something, but with that moment you cannot think properly, then it is better for you to tell them that I don't know. Because this helps you able to control your own tongue, not by lying anything. And every good words you tell, Allah will indeed reward you. But we must be able to control our tongue and control our soul at all time. And we must remember that when we do something good, it should only be for the sake of Allah. And one other thing that you should remember, especially in this blessed month of Ramadan, is that we should always say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. I take refuge in Allah from shaitan, the cursed one. We must constantly keep in mind that Allah will hold us to account for our actions. Now, for me to say A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim, let's say if I want to do something but then I know this thing is not good for me, then you're surrendering yourself to Allah, so that you won't be able to, so that you cannot be tempted to do something bad. Because shaitan will always make you to do something bad during the month of Ramadan. Now remember that the month of Ramadan, the leaders of shaitan, the most highest, then you're surrendering yourself to Allah, so that you won't be able to, so that you cannot be tempted to do something bad. Because shaitan will always make you to do something bad during the month of Ramadan. Now remember that the month of Ramadan, the leaders of shaitan, the most highest ranks of the shaitans are chained and are locked. But not every shaitan is locked, my dear brothers and sisters. There are some shaitan who are loose, and they are there for you, and they are there for controlling your mind so that you can break your fast. And that is why Ramadan, it is for keeping yourself away from shaitan, keeping your mind and soul pure. And the best way to fight shaitan in the month of Ramadan is to remember Allah at all time. And that way you'll be okay. And the best way is always remember your salat and du'as in the month of Ramadan. One thing that we do not want to be in the month of Ramadan is we do not want to be the losers, the one whose end is hellfire, Jahannam. A'udhu billah. This is not us. We want the best of life. We want to be among the winners, the ones who will enter Jannat, inshallah. And we want to spend our lives purifying our thoughts and words and actions, so that when we die, when we pass away in this dunya, then we have a purified heart and soul in our graves. And we want our ruh, our soul, to be as pure and unblemished as the day when we were born. The last verse of Surah Al-Fajr, Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nafs al-mutmaina, O purified soul, well pleased with yourself and well pleased to me. So you may enter among my devotes and you may enter garden. Look how beautiful this ayah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that how one soul can be saved if you do something good. We must remind ourselves and others that we must donate food and money to the poor people for the sake of Allah, especially in this month of Ramadan, where Allah will bless you, my dear brothers and sisters, because a time like this is a time where you can really put your soul into in doing good things in this world. And of course is to show a compassion and mercy for the poor. Right now, dear brothers and sisters, in this year of 2010, right now in Pakistan especially, many brothers and sisters are hit by flood, and this is where you and I can step in helping them with donation, and Allah will reward us for that. And of course, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect those who are trapped in this flood in Pakistan. May Allah make their Ramadan easy, and may Allah cure those who are sick, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rest the soul of those who have passed in Jannah, inshallah.